Wealth, security, and opportunity are a byproduct of success. However, it often comes at the expense of deep personal satisfaction and happiness. This is the Design Your Destiny podcast, and I am your host, Penny Chason, board-certified hypnotist and #1 international best-selling author. I work with the highly successful influencers, business leaders, corporate leaders who desire a life by design. In this podcast, I will bring to you succinct solo episodes and interviews that dissect the challenges of success and highlights the ways to leverage your most underutilized asset, your subconscious mind. If you desire peace and happiness in your life, better health, and stronger relationships so you can enjoy the success that you have created, keep listening because this podcast is for you. Are your values really your values? Or is it something else? Hey, this is Penny. I'm back with another episode of Design Your Destiny, and I do hope that you joined us last week for the Aligned Identity, Turn the Inner Critic into Your Cheerleader workshop. If not, today I'm touching on a little bit of what we talked about in that workshop because it is so very important, and that is your values. Most of us believe that we know what our values are, but we really don't know what our values are. Now, that may sound a little crazy and a little strange, but think about it. You've heard me talk about how we take on other people's beliefs and other people's stories. We can also take on other people's values because we've been taught it's what we should value. And that really creates all kinds of disconnects subconsciously. It creates resistance. As a matter of fact, most of the time when I work one-on-one with clients and we're doing the subconscious work and there are desired outcomes that they want, and we're working that into the process. Sometimes a client will not be embracing the positive changes and they're meeting resistance. So we will do a values exercise. Once we do the values exercise, a lot of times the thing it is that they think they want isn't aligned with their true subconscious values because they were taught that they should value something differently. Once we look at the values, then we kind of revisit what is it that you really want, or if this is what you truly do want, how do we reframe what we're working on in a way that it aligns with your values? What are the actions that align with your values? How do you create this in a way that it aligns with your values? When we take a look at our life, if we're not getting what we want in our life, and we really take a look at our life, do your actions, your decisions, do those things match what it is that you say that you value? If you're not showing up in life according to your values that you consciously think, then either your subconscious values are something else altogether, or you have beliefs around your values that you're attached, that it has to look a certain way. So let me give you an example, because I know this seems a little vague and nebulous. I want you to think of the value of freedom. People will become entrepreneurs, and actually I would be willing to bet that almost all highly successful people who are entrepreneurs, they value freedom. They value time freedom. They value financial freedom. It's something that's important. Now, we don't just wiggle our nose and have a life and a business that provides us an abundance of financial security and financial freedom, and at the same time, time freedom. We have to put in the time, work, and effort to get there. There has to be some action taking. But some people want to become business owners so that they can have freedom, which means they reject all structure. They reject consistency because in their mind, structure and consistency is not aligned with freedom. However, when you run a successful business, you know that consistency and structure allows you to create a healthy business so that you are building up the foundations of something that gives you that time freedom. Now, that's not to mean that you have to put in 60, 70, 80-hour weeks every week. You can still put in reasonable hours each week, but through that consistency of action, through that structure, you're still able to build a business that allows for time and financial freedom. It may take longer. It may not take as long because there are a lot of other things that come into this recipe of creating a future where you have this freedom. But here's the other thing. It's not just people who are starting out building a business who experience this disconnect in values. It can happen at any and all stages of our life where we're having this disconnect and we're bumping up against this resistance and we're not taking the action that we know that we should take. Our values can change at any point in our life. Something can happen and we can realize, for example, you could have a life-threatening illness. You could have a brush with death, and your priorities suddenly change. And on a subconscious level, your values change overnight. And all of a sudden, things were going really smooth, and now it's something else. And you can't put your finger on what it is. There's a good chance there was a shift in your subconscious values, and you didn't even realize that it happened. So anytime things aren't going as smoothly as you would like, you're bumping up against resistance, take a look at your values. Look at what you're doing. Do those things line up? Do your values line up with where it is that you want to go? What stories do you have around your values? What are other people's opinions of your values? And how do you really feel about those opinions around your values? You could really spend a lot of time going down this rabbit hole so that you can create what it is that you want. Our values even drive our why in our business. So it's important to know what those values are, whether you're bumping up against resistance or a glass ceiling or not. Whether you're stuck or not, whether you're sabotaging or not. Understanding those values gives you an awareness that allows you to choose and change and create what it is that you want. If you're ready to approach your mindset from a different angle, if you are ready to tackle the beliefs, the stories, the perceptions from a subconscious level so that you have this alignment that allows you to expand further and faster, then I want you to apply for the Aligned and Expanding Mastermind. This is where you get to come in and allow yourself to change your way of looking things at a very fundamental level, to get this inner voice and turn it into your cheerleader. It is possible to have thoughts pop up in your mind of, are you sure you really want to do this without experiencing the fear? To be able to look at something objectively and make a decision without reacting out of emotion. Now, does this mean that you're never going to feel anything again? Absolutely not. That would make me a liar if I said that. We're going to feel our feelings around certain situations that occur in our life. We can't not feel. But the feelings that come from the inner voice can be neutralized. And that's what I'm offering to you, is to have a space where you can move through these common obstacles that one runs into in life when you're running a business or you are growing in your professional career, and giving you the space to move through these things more quickly, to leave behind what's not working so you can create something that works much better for you in your life. So if this sounds like something you want, the application link is going to be in the show notes. The bonuses for the mastermind go away today. So if you're looking for a year-long space with great community of like-minded people, please apply. Let's get together. Let's have a chat. Make sure that you and I both feel like it is a good fit for you. And let's do this. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of Design Your Destiny. I would love to know what resonated most with you. So just take a screenshot of this episode, share it over on your Instagram stories, and tag me at penny.chason and let me know what you thought. Also, if you head over to iTunes and you leave a positive review, it helps this podcast to help reach even more people, making a difference, elevating humanity and mankind.